What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. It's Friday. Cool. Um, so a couple of, I guess, really crappy things have happened. So anyways, I haven't talked to my mom in like 3 weeks because in one of these videos I talked about slitting her throat. And I think, well, my sister watched that video, unfortunately. And because I guess my sister watches these videos from time to time, and so I guess she might have told my mom. I don't know for sure. That I wanted to slit her throat, or she let my mom watch the video, and this is a reoccurring theme. I wanted to kill my mom on and off throughout my life. It's definitely problematic. I've never actually done it, obviously, because she's still alive. But I've always, been in and out of wanting to kill her. And just the simplest thing could trigger me to want to kill her. It doesn't have to be like a massive thing. Like, for instance, I was fine with her. I had a great relationship with my mom for like 2 years. And then all of a sudden she had a problem with this, like, girl coming to town, the town that I live in, and me paying for her, like, picking up her at the airport, and, maybe me and the girl, like, getting a place together because we both had, like, borderline personality disorder. I thought it'd be really, really cool. And, like, if you could hear the background, I have a pretty, like, amazing roommate, so he's pretty funny. So yeah, and my mom just had a hard time with it, and I, if you go watch that old video, I don't know if you guys watched it, but she didn't respond the way I would have wanted her to respond, and because of that, I wanted to slit her throat, and for me, it's just very easy for me to have that, like, homicidal thing switch on. Like, this morning I became homicidal, and, like, I woke up and I was peaceful. Well, I was kind of suicidal, but you know and, like, somebody was trying to control my friend's finances, and he came into my room and he was talking to me about how, like, there was this woman that was trying to control his money, and, like, I fucking just snapped, because, like, she had no right to do that to him, or she has no right to, try to control what he has. And it's just like, so it takes very little for me to want to kill people. Very, very little for me to want to kill people. So with my mom, like, I have a great relationship with my mom for 2 years, and it's just like a subtle thing, that could be a trigger, or, like, somebody, like, thinking that I can't do something, or, not having faith in me, or saying that I, like, whatever the hell it is. It, like, could instantly make me want to kill someone, because I'm extremely fucking homicidal. And it's a goddamn shame that it goes down that way, but, on this program, since this is, like, kind of like a documentary of what a mentally ill person is and feels like and goes through on a day-to-day basis, I talk about everything. And I talked about that. And obviously my mom must have found out, because my mom hasn't really talked to me since that video. So I think that's kind of, like, eating at me slowly. Like, not having a relationship with my mom. And I think that would be hard for anybody, stopping a relationship with, like, one of their parents. Because it's not easy. I mean, we could set up boundaries with our parents if they're harmful or abusive or anything like that. But as this famous psychiatrist once said, like, all relationships aren't just all bad. Well, some are, but most relationships, sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. Like, they're not all bad. So, like, when you divorce somebody, or you break up with somebody, or you set up boundaries from your family or from your mother or from your father, like, you'll 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 set up those boundaries, and you'll be like, okay, that person's not in my life anymore. And then a week will pass by and you'll feel good. And then 2 weeks will pass by and you'll be alright. And then 3 or 4 weeks will pass by and you'll start to kind of miss that person in your life. Especially if there's things around your house, or images on your phone that remind you of that person. So it's challenging if there was some good in that relationship. And the relationship with my mom, there was some good, and so it's hard, if somebody's just like, if it's all bad, if it's just like complete abuse and control, and there's no good in a relationship, it's very rare that you'll miss that person. But if there is good in that relationship that you just left, whether it was to set up boundary issues, or if you did something like I did, like saying I wanted to kill my mom, like that's something that, like, happened. So, and like I always say, words are like toothpaste. Once the words come out of the toothpaste bottle, you can't suck up the toothpaste back in the bottle. Like, you can't take back the words. That's why you have to be very smart about your words. You have to respond instead of react, like they say in dialectical behavior therapy, because then you burn bridges and you lose people in your life, especially if you're drinking and doing drugs, like, especially if you're drinking. I ride the bus a lot. I spend a lot of time with, people that are alcoholics, and they don't have anybody left in their life, most of them, because they've burned all their bridges. They don't have friends anymore. They don't have family anymore. Like, they walk the streets every day. They get money, and they usually, I don't know what they do with it. Maybe they buy alcohol with it. Who the hell knows, right? I'm not going to judge or say what they do with their money, but they don't really have anybody left in their life. So if you do drink a lot, if you are a big drinker, it's something to look out for, man. Something to look out for. Because when you burn all the bridges in your life, and it's just you walking down a road because you don't have any friends or family anymore. I mean, I guess you could find some peace and happiness to that, but at the same time, there's really no love there. I mean, you could have love within yourself, but it's really nice to connect with people and to have people in your life that you love and that also love you, and develop a connection with people over a span of time. And I think that's what hurts about, like, my mom and me, is we were doing so well for such a long period of time. And I decided to become somewhat independent, and that shit didn't fly. And because that shit didn't fly, and she had trouble with me being independent, I fucking lost my shit. And I wanted to kill her. But like I said, it's like, I get over killing people very quickly. Like, this morning I wanted to kill this woman, and I was just like, I'll kill her and nobody will know I did it, because I don't know her, and nobody knows that I know her. Because most murders happen, or they catch most murderers. I can't believe I'm actually going into this shit. They catch most murderers because they have some kind of relationship with the person that they kill, right? So this woman, I'll just call her Dr. J. If I killed Dr. J, nobody would assume or think that I did it. Nobody would check my alibi. Nobody would be like, where were you at 1 o'clock? They would ask people that she knows. They would ask her family. They would ask people that were tied in with her money situation. They would ask people that were going to take over her house. They would ask like all the people that lived near her, or her friends, or her family. They would never suspect somebody that doesn't know her. So I could go over to her place, dress in black, and like, now I'm not even going to get into this because I'm already bordering on my YouTube channel being taken off by YouTube and the government, so I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to teach you how to kill people. That would be hella bad. as I flip my thing, like, that would be hella bad, you know? Like some princess. No, yeah. That's a great way to like lead into the next conversation. Like, you're talking about how to get away with murder, and then like you flip your thing like some princess. You're like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? He's talking about murdering people, and then he acts like some like damsel in distress, you know? Whatever, man. I'd be so good at murdering people. Actually, it's kind of scary. Like, when I was thinking about murdering that woman this morning, like, I was actually thinking about like how euphoric and joyful I would be after murdering somebody, and then I thought about like Jordan Peterson when he was I believe when he was getting his doctorate, or after he was getting his doctorate on being a clinical psychiatrist. This is before he toured at was a professor at Harvard, I believe. He would go to a prison that only had like psychopaths and mentally ill people and people that like murdered a lot of people, like serial killer type people, and he would work there just to study the people and talk with the people, right? And so he was like walking around the courtyard once, and back then he wore a cape. He wore like this like Italian cape. He's a very interesting guy, Jordan Peterson. Very artistic and very intellectual. So he does stuff that most people probably wouldn't. Like wear capes. It's fucking cool, man. So like that's somebody that just really doesn't give a shit. So sometimes when you're very smart, like when you're really intellectual, you're so far gone that like you don't care about what other people think about you. Like, you do things that most people don't, like, because your IQ's so high, and you're so either you could be autistic, you could have Asperger's, you could be OCD, whatever the hell it is, but like you think so outside of the box, and so unlike most people, that you're you. Like, you don't care about society and what society is and what society thinks. Like, you are you. I love that, man. I love that about people. Jordan Peterson's definitely one of them, and that's why he's gotten into a lot of trouble with the female race. Fucking females do not like fucking Jordan Peterson. My sister dislikes the fact that I am into Jordan Peterson. But for me, Jordan Peterson is like a father figure, because I've never had a father. I've never had a correct father to teach me how to be a real man and like really stand up for myself and just be confident and courageous. And I've never had a man in my life because my father abandoned me when I was like 3. And he's never been in the picture ever. So I was raised by a mother and a sister. So I grew up most of my life gay as fuck. And I would get picked on in like 5th and 6th grade because people thought no, not 5th grade. I was the shit in 5th grade. In 6th grade, people started to think that I was gay. And like, because there was no testosterone manliness at all in my system, because I never had a father. So And I had to sleep in the same bed with my mom for 2 years. You know, because we were so poor, we lived in the shed, and and from age 6 to age 8, or age like 5.5 to age 7.5, for like 2 years, I slept in the same bed with my mother. We had a bunk bed. I slept with my mother in a like on a mattress from age like 5.5 to 7.5. My God, it just got super dark. And then my sister slept on the top. Oh, that's some scary ass shit. You see all those veins? That's fucking sick. So like, my sister slept on the top bunk, and me and my mom slept on the bottom bunk, and like so I slept with my mom for 2 years. Now like Oedipal Freudian psychiatrists would have a fucking field day with me with that shit, dude. Dear Lord. So that probably added on to the gayness of myself, shall we say. Um, so, but I'm not saying I'm gay. I'm like extremely attracted to women, but I acted gay because there was no male in my life. I was just like just surrounded by women my entire childhood. So that's so weird how dark it got. I think there's like a massive cloud or something. So, anyways, or something's happening with the sun. So Jordan Peterson goes to this facility, right? He goes to this like prison facility that holds like these really fucking nasty, bad, like insane people, right? And he's walking around the corridor where all the inmates are like walking in this court, and all the guards are out, and all the guards are watching the prison people. So like Jordan Peterson, he's in no harm for his life. There's plenty of facility, court, guards around, and he kind of keeps his distance from people just in case they try to shank him or something like that. And he's like talking to this one guy, and the guy's like 5'7", looks completely harmless, and Jordan Peterson just goes up to him and starts talking to him. And they walk for a little bit, and the guy seems completely harmless and like just seems like a nice guy, kind of like me, and and then Jordan Peterson was like, "It was nice talking to you," and he goes back to, his doctor professor type person at the time, that got him the internship at the prison. It's like, "Oh, I saw you were talking to that guy. Like, what do you think about him?" And Jordan Peterson was like, "Yeah, he's a nice guy. I have no idea why he's in here, but he's like super nice and fucking normal as shit." And he's like, "That guy lined up 2 policemen, like somehow got one of their guns or whatever the fuck it was, and he just lined them up, and he just got them on their knees and just shot both of them in the head." And I thought about like that guy doing that to those cops, and I got like gleefully, euphorically happy about killing people. And I was like, God, I would love to do that. Fuck. My buddy that lives with me, he's got, he's got borderline too. And he watched video 110 and 111. And he sat me down yesterday, and he's just like, "I've been watching your videos," and he's like, I'm like kind of concerned, and like, he's like, "I think you have like a multiple personality disorder, but like I don't think like you're a psychopath because you're not like really angry, and like you don't want to like get into fights with people, and you're not like super aggressive." And then I had to tell him that because he's not really well versed on sociopaths and psychopaths like I am. I've done a lot of research on both, because when you're like me and you want to kill people, you need to figure your shit out. You need to do research on it. You need to find out exactly who you are, so you don't hurt people. And I pretty much told him about certain people, and I was just like, the reason why I scare so many doctors is because I'm in full control of my emotions most of the time. And killing people for me isn't an aggressive, angry thing. It's not like, I hate people, I hate the human race, that kind of shit. And it's not like, sometimes it does come from aggression. I have like two psychopaths in me. I have the psychopath that's like very aggressive, like I was this morning. Like, I really wanted to fucking kill that woman because she was like controlling and taking advantage of like my good buddy, right? And that just fucking riles me up. I'll just fucking slice her goddamn throat. But like, that's the one psychopath. He's like more of a sociopath. Like, I was trying to kill kids when I was like 3 and 4 years old, so I definitely have that sociopathic aspect to myself. So like, that's like the aggressive sociopath. But then there's like this deeper, really fucked up creature, and I was explaining that creature to him, and that person is like very cryptic. So when that person wants to kill people, he just wants to kill people because he enjoys the thought of it. Like, he gets off on it. Like, he's just like it's almost like a game. It's almost like a deep desire to just fucking slice people's throats. Like, and he enjoys it. It's almost like this like, euphoric thing for him. And just the thought of it, like, it makes him like. And that guy is fucking scary as shit. That's the guy I became this morning when I was sitting on my floor. And I was thinking about that Jordan Peterson story about like the guy that just lined up the two cops and just shot him in the head with no emotions. Like when I hear that kind of stuff and I get euphorically giddy and like I entertain the thought about like how happy that would make me to do such things, like that's the guy that's really fucking scary. I don't know how people get as fucked up as we do. Like, I really don't understand this shit. For me, I think it's because I spend so much time in stillness. Like, I just gravitate into all these different people. Like, all these different personalities, I think. And I think the more and more I just allow myself to go and just be myself, I guess you could say, the more and more I just drift. It's like disassociation, but it's like this weird form of disassociation. It's like disassociation, but presence, but I don't know what the fuck it is, man, but it's fucking goddamn weird. It's goddamn weird. And it's not from too much drug use either. It ain't from that. I tell you that, man. I'm very sane and capable of doing anything. But I can't function enough to actually keep a job. And I think one of the reasons for that is because I drift like that too much and I lose hours and hours and hours. There's this woman, she found me on a dating website and she saw that like I was like a international teacher and she was leaving her job, her PE job. And she messaged me and she's like, "Hey, have you ever taught PE?" And I was like, "Well, I've been hired for PE in like 3 different countries. I got hired to be a PE teacher in Norway, Bangladesh, and like South Africa because of like the way I look and the fact that I'm athletic and whatever the fucking case may be, and I have a master's degree in education." And she's like, she called me like 2 nights ago and she's like, "Well, I'm leaving my fucking PE job. And I think you would be awesome to take it over. And if I told my principal that I wanted you to fill the position, like, you would have the job. And it's like 10 minutes away from my house." And I thought about it. And I was just like, it's PE. All I would have to do is roll out balls to people, or like fucking, basketball, dodgeballs, whatever the fuck it is. But that would still come with paperwork. That would still come with unit planning, lesson planning. That would still come with like me having to come home and like grade like midterm health exams, that would still have to do with me like being gone for 10 hours a day, and then like having to like find time to do all that paperwork shit that I just mentioned and like be functioning. It's like I could have probably done that 15 years ago. Actually, I couldn't have done that 15 years ago, because 15 years ago I couldn't have done it, because like I can't function, man. Like I always go into that disassociated state where like I can't do papers, I can't do paperwork, I can't like concentrate for long periods of time on things. And it's just like, it's fucking weird, man. Anyways, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about today. But anyways, just to tell like a, suicidal story. So anyways, this morning I was I was really fucking depressed this morning, man. And I had another fucking really weird dream. Like when shit's going bad in your life, like your dreams pretty much control your emotional states in the morning. Like like you just know your life is fucking not hunky dory. Like your dreams will tell you that. Like Carl Jung, Jung. He'll study him if you want to get in that. Like the Red Book, the Black Book, I think. Well, anyways, Carl Jung, like he was the first, was second, him and Freud, and they were homeboys until they broke up. They were sick into dream states, and like how dreams are like intuition and guides to what you need to be doing in your life or what is going wrong in your life. And right now there's something hella going wrong in my life, and I think it has to do with the fact that like I'm separated from my family. I don't have my niece anymore. I don't really have my mom anymore. And it's like, and that's okay that they're taking a break right now, because my sister watches these videos from time to time, and she's like, well, Joe's definitely not healthy enough to be around the kids. And like, my mom obviously is scared shitless of me, so she doesn't want to be around me. So that's okay. Like, I accept that because that's my fault. When you're that mentally ill, you need to accept certain things. And people not feeling safe around you is one of them. That's huge. And people in your family or people that are close to you don't feel safe around you, that's fine. Give them that space until you heal and you feel better. But like, you need to understand that. You know what I mean? Man, it must be getting late. The kids are out next door. She likes to yell at her kids, man. It's fucking scary as shit. Watch. It's fucking scary, dude. Like the way she fucking yells at her kid. I don't know, man. This is a whole other level. I think they're Haitian or some shit like that. It's fucking insane. So, not like all you Haitian people out there, you're cool and all, but like, Jesus Christ, man, the way she screams at her kids, holy fuck. I'm like, Jesus. And that wasn't bad. Like that was lightweight. So, you should see when she really screams at him. Holy fuck. So anyways, it's some crazy ass shit. And they're like 2 and 3 years old, man. Fuck. So, or like 4 or whatever the fuck they are. So anyways, so yeah, man. So this morning, I was like really fucking depressed. And I'm working on like having this perfect body. I think I'm down to like, because I have an eating disorder. Like it's very, very clear. I talk about it in the ebook, in the description. And I think I'm down to like 15%, 16% body fat, and maybe 17. And I'm looking at this picture of this girl. She's like a fitness girl on my wall, because I hang up fitness people on my wall. And all females, I don't hang up dudes on my wall. And she has like this perfect trim stomach. And I'm like, I'm almost there. And then like this thought happened in my mind that was like, you're most likely going to be dead before you achieve that. Like, you're most likely going to kill yourself before you achieve that, because you've been working on that for fucking ever since you were 23. I had it when I was 23, and then I lost it from drinking and whatever, stress. But I don't know, man. And then like I thought about like being suicidal, and I thought about being like depressed and all this other thought and all this other stuff. I don't know, man. Life is complicated, dude. We try to make it as simple as possible, but like when you're feeling depressed, when you're feeling suicidal, all these psychiatrists talk to you about how you should be grateful, have gratitude books. I don't know, man. The biggest issue I have with those gratitude books and like being grateful or writing 5 things you're grateful for is like when like the only thing you ever want to do is die. Like if that's your real state, all you want to do is just die. And you wish you were never born. Not just because like the suffering you go through, but the suffering you put other people through. And you would have rather just not been here. You rather would just not have been born at all. And all you want to do is just die. When that is your state, when people start their, gratitude journals like, oh, I'm so happy that I woke up this morning and I was happy, that I'm still alive. I think to myself, like, when you're in this state where you wake up and when you wake up, that's the nightmare. Like going to bed isn't the nightmare. Like when you open your eyes, that's the nightmare. And like all you want to do is die. Like what am I going to write in the gratitude journal? Like when you wish you were never born. What am I going to write in the gratitude journal? When everybody in your life disowns you because you're way too fucked up. And you just cause them to bleed and you cause harm to them. Like I just did to my mother and my family. What are you going to write in your gratitude journal? You're just hurting people. And it's just because you were born. And it's because you're fucking alive. Some of us just shouldn't have been born. It's just as simple as that. There's a chapter in my ebook that talks about like the nightmare. And that's the title of I think that's the title of the chapter. It's just the nightmare. And it talks about that. It talks about like how